Hello, everyone at Instagram. It's Donna. It's Friday. Can't believe we're here already. It's Friday and I wanted to go live real fast just to jump on here and talk a little bit about the podcast episode this week, the new developments and exciting new things coming up in the next few weeks over for me and for classes and coaching. And just to answer any questions if anyone has any, I'm only on Instagram today. I'm not on Facebook because I just have a few minutes right before I have to go and pick up my kids and then start baseball and then the weekend. Is everyone else's weekends crazy ahead of them? Tomorrow morning we have a karate belt test, a dentist appointment, baseball game. I mean, that's just all before noon. Who has the time? Saturday? Guys, it's a little crazy. Well, hello everyone. Thanks for joining me. So just like to let you guys know some things that are coming up for me that I'm super excited about for you, for you. Okay, so this month I had a 4-week class, an online class with kids from all over the country. It's been such a great experience. I've loved to kind of play around with the format and see how it's worked, and I've had a great time. We have one more class on Tuesday where we're doing final scenes, but we're gonna do another one in October, or I should say I'm gonna do another one in October, and it looks like it's probably gonna be on Tuesday nights or Tuesday afternoons, maybe an hour or hour and a half, and what it will be is probably just 2 weeks with a private with me in between. So just keep an eye out. We're gonna be sending out an email in the next week, I think in the next weekend, about it. So if you guys want to register, it's probably going to be from ages like 9 or 10 to 15 or 16. We haven't decided. Let me know if you guys are interested in taking any of those group classes, because I found it's like a really great experience. It's been nice to see the difference of what it's like to work with some of those kids that I work with one-on-one versus in a group environment, because everyone's a little different when you've got the other energy of kids. Do you guys have any preferences? Like, do you like classes or one-on-one coaching more? Are you finding any differences in like your own training? Because every actor is different. I have some actors that love the idea of coaching and just like spending all the time focusing on their own scenes, or there's kids that love classes because they're taking the energy from other people. So I would love to kind of hear what your guys' thoughts are. And then another thing I want to talk about really briefly is my podcast episode that I just released yesterday. Let me know if you guys are listening or have listened, if you guys have listened to it or are you planning on listening to it. It's super important for you parents, because I know a lot of you guys are parents that are watching here. A lot of parents get involved in this business and feel lost or don't really know at what level they should be in terms of involvement. And so I found a lot of the questions that were coming to me were like, what exactly do I need to do to support my kid in their acting career? Or what do I need to do to make my agent or manager, like me and not feel like I'm annoying them? What's the appropriate, how many emails do I send until it's like annoying to the representation, or I'm not getting callbacks, that my son or my daughter is not getting callbacks so many times? At what point do I need to get involved and find out exactly what's happening? So I answered a lot of those questions. I think it's a really important thing as a parent to find a good balance. So make sure that you guys are listening to the Young Actors Guide. Do you guys all know about the Young Actors Guide? It's super, it's a super important passion project of mine, the podcast, just to kind of talk about like actor things and young actor issues and parent issues. And if you guys have any topics you want me to cover, just make sure you reach out to me and let me know. I just think, this week's topic, all about the parent's role, is something that can constantly be reevaluated in your own kid's career. Because when they're 4, you're going to be a little bit different involved. Your level of involvement may be different than when they're like 9 or when they're 14. So I have a lot of, actors that come to me when they're, 15, 16, and they're like, my mom, she used to come into every single, audition with me, and now she sends me with the babysitter or something. It's a little different, the energy or the involvement. So if you guys are ever questioning exactly at what point you should take a step back and let the kid kind of take the lead, vice versa, those are important questions to ask. Do you guys have any questions for me? Does anyone want to say hi feeling very lonely over here. I see some people here. They're all here hanging out with me, but I would love some hellos. Okay, so let's see. So we've covered the podcast episode. We're doing the podcast episode that came out this week. Super important one. Make sure you guys are listening and tell your other actor friends, moms, and dads to listen. Another thing is my upcoming October classes that I'm going to be doing, the online classes. If you guys want to be part of that, you can live in any part of the country as long as you're available and you have an internet connection. That's literally all that matters, which is really cool. And then you can sign up on DonnaBowling.com. Make sure to go to the website, make sure your name is on the mailing list, and we'll go from there. Okay, I do see one question. I got some highs. Thank you guys, because I was feeling very lonely and sad. Okay, question. Do casting directors ever get requests for audition footage to use on Reels? Is that a thing? Okay, do casting directors get requests for audition footage to use on Reels? You're talking about, like, if I, as a casting director, tape your audition and then you're asking the casting director, can I get your taped audition to put on my daughter's reel? Is that what you're asking about, Lee? I just want to kind of understand your question before I answer it wrong. I want to make sure I'm getting the right thing. What I did tell one of my clients today that I was working with, she was saying she doesn't have any reel. She doesn't have tape of herself. And I think it's super important that you guys know that tape, especially if you're young and you don't have, so many credits, we don't expect you guys to have like some amazing reel. And I don't think it's very necessary that you spend a whole lot of money on one of those like fake reels. I think what it's totally acceptable is just a recent self-tape. So what I told her was to make sure to go to get a scene that really kind of highlights your best attributes. Go into one of those self-tape studios. There's tons here in LA, and I'm sure there are wherever you live, or maybe you can have your own in your own living room as long as it's professional and it's got good sound quality and all that good stuff. And make sure that you put yourself on tape doing the scene, and that's your reel for right now. You don't need a reel if you've never really booked anything. I don't think anyone expects that. So just have a good self-tape. Lee, let me see. Yes, whatever was taped in the audition room after project is released. So I've never... Actually, I'm going to lie. I did give an audition of a kid who's auditioned for me in the past who booked the role. I did give her the audition. Years later, she came in for me when she was 12, and she's now 18 or 19, and I gave her the audition now because I found it. But I would never really give an actor their audition, especially if they didn't book the role. I wouldn't give it to them. Something I taped for them in the casting room. Because that's like it doesn't feel like it should be in your hands, even though you guys, it's you. You know what I mean? Manager suggested we just do a reel from auditions. Figured the projects Ella booked would be good. Okay, yeah, definitely do a reel from auditions. Self-tapes are totally fine. When people want to see tape of you, they don't really care about what the project looks like and who the other actors are and if it's a good set or not. They just want to see how you look and how you act. Hi, Whitney. How's Parker? Okay, let's see. Should you have different reels? Voiceover, theater, TV, film. If you're lucky enough that you've had experience and credits and all those things, then absolutely break it up. But most actors, and especially on the younger end that don't have huge credits, don't have enough. So it would be weird to have a comedy reel if they only have one comedy credit. But voiceover should be a different reel. Voiceover is a completely different category than than TV and film. So I would never want to see a voiceover reel as a theatrical casting director. But TV, film, and theater shouldn't be on there either. TV and film should be its own. And that could be like web series too, just anything on screens. And then theater can be its own and voiceover can be its own. I would not mix theater and voiceover into the theatrical side. Does that answer your question? Okay, Parker's headed to an audition. Good. Crossing fingers for him. Okay, good. I answered your question. Any other questions about reels? Reels are a big, hot topic, and it's always been. And when I cast, projects over the years, the only time, I keep looking at the time because I have to go get my kids in. The only time that a reel was ever really important, you guys, you picking up what I'm putting down with my little punny self? The only time that a reel was ever really important was when it was an adult actor who wouldn't audition. That's the truth. If we felt like there was actors that are offer only, or they would only go straight to producers, then our casting director, our casting team, or maybe our producers would say like, well, we just need to see footage of them. We need to see what they've done. And at that point, self-tape would obviously not be sufficient, because you wouldn't be offer only if you didn't have comedy or credits to have on a reel. But if you're a established enough actor that has had 20 different guest stars over the last 5 years on all the big, network sitcoms, and you have enough to put on a reel, that could maybe be sufficient for a, like instead of coming in to read for casting, something like that. So for kids, we really don't ask for reels. I've never asked for a reel for kids. I've never required it. Today, one of my clients was asked if she had tape, but that's because we're trying to get her in with an agent, and the agent wants to see anything of her actually acting. But if it was for an audition, most likely she would just pre-read. It's not a bad idea to have any tape on your Breakdown account or your LA Casting account or whatever it is of a self-tape. I think that's totally sufficient and fine for now. And if you guys do a web series or anything like that, see if you can get footage. But yes, I don't think, to circle back, Lee, I think we should leave the casting audition, the one that she did in the room for casting. We should leave that in the casting room. Got it? What other questions do we have before I'm out of here, guys? This is your moment. I could sing for you. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so make sure you guys to get on my website, sign up, get on my class list for October. It's been an awesome experience. It's getting everyone episodic, pilot season ready, and podcast. Listen to the Young Actors Guide. Parents especially, please, this one's for you. Number 108. It's called The Parents Role. Listen to it. Take it in. And if you have any questions about where you are on the spectrum of involvement, and you're wondering if maybe that's why you're not getting the best response from your manager or your agent, that's a super important thing to think about. And it's time to be honest with yourself. It's time to be honest with yourself about the way that you are involved and if it's a healthy involvement or not. I think I'm going to drop it at that. Oh, Whitney, okay, thank you. You listened. I'm happy you did. Thank you so much for all the support, you guys, with the podcast, with everything else. Book a session with me if you have any questions, and or just like follow me on Instagram and like ask me there. I don't know, or ask me here. I try to come on every Friday for a little live Q&A, and so if you guys have any questions, we can talk about them here. But anyway, for now, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy it, and I will see you next week. Bye, you guys. Have a good one.